It had always been there. The door at the end of the hall. I had grown up in this house, lived here my entire life, and that door had never opened. Not once. It was old, warped from time, its deep oak surface marked with scratches that looked almost intentional. My parents never spoke about it. Anytime I asked, they dismissed it with vague responses. It's just storage, there's nothing in there, don't worry about it. But I did worry about it. Because at night, I would hear it. Soft creaks, faint taps, like something inside was waiting. When I was younger, I used to press my ear against it, straining to hear what lay beyond. Sometimes, I thought I could hear breathing, shallow, slow, like something on the other side was listening to me, too. As I got older, I forced myself to ignore it. If my parents didn't want to talk about it, then maybe I didn't want to know. Until the night it opened by itself. I was 16, lying awake in bed, scrolling through my phone when I heard it, the unmistakable groan of wood shifting, hinges creaking. I froze. The noise had come from the hallway, from the door at the end of the hall. Slowly, I sat up, my breath catching in my throat. The house was quiet, too quiet, as if the very air had been sucked out. My heart pounded as I reached for the bedside lamp, fingers shaking. Then I heard it, a single footstep, and then another, slow, deliberate, moving toward my room. I couldn't move, my body refused to obey. Every instinct screamed at me to hide, to run, but I just sat there, frozen in terror as the footsteps came closer. Then they stopped, right outside my door. I held my breath, my ears straining against the silence. Then, a knock, 3 sharp, deliberate taps. I wanted to scream, to call for my parents, but my throat had closed up. My skin prickled with the overwhelming sensation that something was standing just beyond the door, waiting. And then, the knob began to turn. I dove under the covers like a child, squeezing my eyes shut, willing it all to be a dream. The doorknob rattled once, twice, and then, nothing. I don't know how long I lay there, shaking beneath the blankets, but eventually, exhaustion won. When I woke up, it was morning. Sunlight streamed through the windows, and for a moment, I almost convinced myself I had imagined the whole thing. Then I saw it, the door at the end of the hall. It was open, just a crack, darkness spilling from the space beyond. I didn't tell my parents. What would I even say? That I had heard footsteps? That something had tried to come into my room? So I did nothing, and things got worse. Each night, the door opened a little more. Not much, just an inch or two, but enough that I started wedging a chair under my bedroom doorknob before I slept. I knew something was in there now, and it knew I knew. I started hearing it whisper. Soft, almost like a sigh, just beyond my door. A voice that didn't belong to my parents. A voice that didn't belong to anyone. And then, one night, I made the worst mistake of my life. I answered it. I don't know what compelled me to do it. Maybe I was just so tired, so desperate for it to stop. Maybe I thought if I acknowledged it, it would go away. "Who's there?" I whispered. Silence. And then, "We've been waiting for you." The voice slithered through the crack beneath the door, sending ice through my veins. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. I just stared at the door, heart hammering so hard it felt like my ribs would crack. Then the knocking started. Soft at first, then louder. Bang, bang, bang. I jumped back against the wall, my hands gripping the sheets so hard my knuckles ached. The knocking turned to pounding. The whole door trembled, the chair under the knob rattling with the force. And then, silence. I didn't sleep at all that night. The next morning, I knew I had to do something. I couldn't live like this. I had to know what was inside. So I did what no rational person would do. I opened the door. The air inside was thick, stale, like a place that had been left untouched for decades. The room was small, smaller than I expected, with no windows and walls covered in peeling, yellowed wallpaper. A single chair sat in the center. And that was it, except something was wrong. The air felt heavy, pressing down on my lungs. The floorboards groaned under my weight as I stepped inside, my pulse thundering in my ears. I reached out, brushing my fingers along the chair's surface. Ice cold. Then, a breath. Right behind me. I spun around, but the room was empty. The door behind me was still open, leading back into my hallway. But I knew I wasn't alone. The chair scraped against the floor. I ran. I slammed the door shut behind me and shoved my dresser against it. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't tell anyone. I just pretended it never happened. But at night, I still hear it. The knocking, the whispers, the voice calling my name. And sometimes when I walk past that door, I swear I hear someone breathing, still waiting, still watching,